So you're planning on buying polarizer filters, right? But you don't know if you should go all the way and buy an expensive filter or a cheap filter. Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you the difference between a $10 filter, a $30 filter, and a $120 filter. So now let's roll the intro. What's up, guys? So if you're new here, my name is Mauricio Celis and I post videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays. I post about filmmaking, photography, tutorials, and I even post my edits here. So if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button down there. So in today's video, we're going to talk about polarizer filters. So if you don't know what a polarizer filter is basically putting sunglasses over your lenses, but it makes the sky more blue, which makes the clouds pop out even more, and it makes the greens more saturated, and it pops out the color of it. And now I need to change the battery because it's like flicking red, and I'll be back. And speaking of red, I'm wearing red right now, and so anyway, back to the topic. I'm going to show you the difference between a $10 filter, a $30 filter, and a $120 filter. And I have my laptop right here so that way I can talk about it while you guys are looking at it. I have my handy dabby laptop right here. Okay, so the first image I'm going to show you is just a standard image like this. And also what you can do so that way you can get the sky more blue and the trees and the grass more greener is change the picture profile from standard or whatever settings that you have to landscape, which it brings out the blues and it brings out the greens, which it basically just saturates the whole thing. So this is how it looks like with the landscape picture profile and with no filter. And now I'm adding the $10 filter, and this is how it looks like. Not bad for a $10 filter, right? It's definitely like way too dark. You can't see the house that much. It's like completely dark. And now let's move on to the $30 filter. And as you can see, it brings out the house a little bit, like that chimney right there. It's a little bit more orange and a little bit more saturated. The sky is definitely darker. As you can see, it definitely brings out the clouds more. And now let's go to the $120 filter. So the $120 filter, you could definitely tell the difference between the previous two. The sky doesn't get that dark, but honestly it actually looks better with the sky not too dark because it's like over exaggerated. And then as you can see, it brings out the house. It brings out the highlights from the house and the color. You can see more of the house, like this window on the bottom left. The tree from right here is a little bit more brighter and more greener. It all depends on what you're shooting. So on this one, I feel like the winner is, I think, the $120 one, because I feel like the other filters, it gets it darker. But so the other two, the $10 filter and the $30 filter, it does get the job done, but I feel like it gets it too dark, so you lose some of the details of it. As of the $120 one, it gets a little bit dark, but not too dark, so that way you can still do the details of it, but it just doesn't get as dark as the other two. Like the sky, it doesn't get it that dark, but you don't want it that dark. You just want it a little bit darker so that way you could get the clouds to pop out. And then here's this other image that I took. I was trying to find a place so that way there's more greens, so that way you can see the difference. So this is how it looks like with the standard picture. And then this is with the $10 filter. As you can see, it makes the leaves more darker, and it does bring out the clouds because it's dark in the sky, but it's a little too dark. And also I didn't change the settings. I didn't change the exposure, the ISO, the shutter speed, the aperture. I didn't change anything at all. I just left it like that. I put on the filter and left the settings how it was. So here's the $30 filter, and as you can see, it does brings out the highlights and the color from the leaves. The sky gets it a little bit brighter. So now let's go to the $120 filter. And the $120 filter, it doesn't really look that good because this is the darkest that I could get it to. It's like almost the same thing as the normal one, just a little bit darker. If you don't want your image to look that dark, then this is the filter that you want. But also, if you could buy the $10 filter and not have it too dark. You have the option to have it super dark or not that dark. And then also a tip, if you want your sky to look super dark, then you have to shoot on the side where the sun is pointing at. So don't point it directly from the sun, or don't point it where the sun is heading, because that's not going to change anything. So what you need to do is first point at the sun, then point where the sun is hitting directly, and then move to the right a little bit. So you have to shoot the sides where the sun is, so that way you can get the sky to be super dark. And then now I'm going to show you some examples on video. So as you can see, when I went to film this video, it was on like golden hour, so I had to bring up the ISO a little bit, and the shutter speed I had to put it down, and then I had to adjust some settings. So without the filter, this clip is like good, perfectly exposed, but right when I put the filter, I didn't change the settings and they made it look super dark and it doesn't look that good. But what you can do if you don't want it to be that dark is just adjust the filter so that way it's not that dark, but I put it completely dark. So this is a $10 filter. This third one is the $30 filter. It's like the same thing. This last one is the expensive filter, and all these three look exactly the same. So now let's move on to this one. Without the filter, it actually looks better than all these three because the other ones look way too dark. But this is no filter, $10 filter, $30 filter, and $120 filter. As you can see, this is the darkest that I could put it on the $120 filter. It almost looks exactly like the no filter one. So let's compare these two. It just makes it a little bit darker. I feel like it doesn't even get it darker. I had this directly like pointing at the sun, not pointing at the sun, but like where the sun was facing. So that's why I feel like it didn't change that much on the $120 filter. But I don't know why it changed a lot on the cheaper ones. So weird. The cheaper ones actually did better than the expensive filter. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So it just depends what you want. Like, if you want your filter to make your images look dark, then you should go for the cheaper options. And this proves that you don't need to buy expensive gear, because sometimes people say like you get what you pay for, but this, you don't get what you pay for. Like, you could get really good quality image with the cheaper filter. That filter that I got, the $10 filter, I got it with the camera because I got a whole kit and it came with a lot of accessories. The filter was one of the accessories that I got. So that's pretty much it. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and peace out.